Folks, welcome back. I have your latest home prices and insights for week ending July 28th for York Region. You know, when I look at these numbers, I'm thinking, is now a good time to buy? Before I get into the numbers, just let me mention quickly, those of you that want to talk to me about real estate, and in the description below, there's a link to my calendar. Book a time there that's convenient to you. This way, I know ahead of time when you want to chat, and I'll organize my calendar so I could have some time and talk to you about whatever you want, real estate-wise, selling, buying, market, whatever you want. And while I have your attention here, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button below, hit the bell button, share the video with your friends. It really helps us out a lot here on with the YouTube algorithm. Thank you for that. Okay, so I said at the beginning, I believe looking at these numbers now is a good time to buy in York Region, and I'll tell you why. Let's get right into it. First of all, I'm going to talk about condos. Now, condos for all York Region. After this, I'm going to deal with detached for Vaughan, Richmond Hill, and Markham. So condos for all of York Region. Sales have been going up over the last few weeks. Last week we sold 65 condos, and average sold price now a little bit higher than the previous week is sitting at $651,000. When we kind of look back and look at the overall trend, because let's not focus on really 1 week to the next, we got to really pull out the trend and what's going on here. Well, you know, from the beginning of the year, average sold price for condos has gone up, and now you can kind of say that, you know, I don't want to say it's gone down, but it has dropped slightly. You could barely notice it, but average sold price has tapered off a little bit. But we're in August, and these are the things we kind of expect to happen at the end of July and August. Compared to last year, we're sitting at 11% higher than last year's average sold price. Of the 65 that were sold, 52% sold at list price or more, so a little bit more than half. And so when I see that, and I see not too long ago we're at 60%, 71%, I'm thinking, if you're looking to buy a condo in the York Region area, now could be a good time, because as we head into the fall, we kind of expect things to get busy again. So that's one takeaway there. Now, of the 105 that were listed, that's what came on the market over the course of week ending July 28th. This is an interesting number for me, but I'm more concerned of how many are actually available for sale. And what I mean by that is, of the 105 that were listed, some get sold right away and they're no longer available for sale. Some get terminated, some get suspended. So these 105, some of them are still available at the end of the week, but of the previous week's listing, some of them never sold. So I want to know how many are actually at the end of the week available for sale. And there's 324 active listings at the end of the week. So when we take the active listings and we put it in a ratio versus how many we're actually buying, that gives us 1.2 months of inventory. Now, between 4 to 6 months of inventory is a balanced market. Below 1.2 months, that's a seller's market. Sorry, below 4 months of inventory, that's a seller's market. We're sitting at 1.2 months of inventory. That's an aggressive seller's market, and we normally expect prices to be going up in a seller's market. Well, this is why I say is now, you know, a good time to buy, because with months of inventory sitting this low, we do expect prices to be turning around, going up anytime soon. Could be in the fall, could be in the next week or two, but think about it. If you're looking to buy a condo in York Region and days on market is 17, that's not quick, fast. 17, a little bit over 2 weeks of being on the market gives buyers enough time to think about it, look at the properties, negotiate down a little bit. So it's interesting time if you're looking to buy. Okay, so we're getting into detached properties now. I've got Vaughan on the board here. We sold 45 last week, detached properties in Vaughan. 6 of those were at $2 million or more. An average sold price came down to $1,580,000. So when I kind of look back at the overall trend, the beginning of the year, which seems like ancient history now, the beginning of the year, average sold price was going up slightly. Now it kind of depends on how you look at this. It kind of looks like it's been coming down over the last few months, but just by a little bit. Compared to last year, we're 10% higher than last year's average sold price. Of the 45 that were sold, 58% sold at list price or more. Now, there was a time in Vaughan when 75%, 80%, 65% were selling at list price or more. And when I look at some of the other regions, Brampton is like 75%, 73%. The Durham area is over 80% being sold at list price or more. So when I look at 58%, it's one of the lower. It's a little bit less competitive. It could be a good time to buy because I expect that number to be going up soon. And from being in the field working with buyers, I was out all weekend looking at properties and showing properties with buyers. I can tell you the feeling is it's getting competitive. And we had properties we were looking at where the offer date was still 3 days away. I show the property during the day. I send the data of what's sold in the area. My buyers were interested. And that night, I'm getting messages that there's an offer, there's a bully offer, there's another bully offer. So it's starting to get competitive. It's starting to pick up again. The window, as far as not as many selling at list price or more, that window's starting to close. Of the 68 that were listed last week, 239 are still available for sale. So those are the ones that are on the market and have not sold over the last few weeks. Months of inventory is sitting at 1.2, which has been the same now for 3 weeks in a row. Days on market is 18. That's pretty high, 18. Normally, when things are really competitive, we're seeing days on market at 10, 11, 6, 5. 18 has given us a lot of time to really start looking at the properties if you're a buyer and to begin to negotiate a good price. Richmond Hill, 32 were sold. 12 were at $2 million or more, and average sold price is sitting at 1.9. Now, you could look at that, wow, that came down quite a bit from the previous week, but the previous week was a really crazy number up there with the combination of sales. And Richmond Hill's average sold price since about the end of March, April has kind of come down also a little bit. Compared to last year, we're way over last year's average sold price at 39% higher. Of the 32 that were sold, 44% were at list price or more. So similar example to Vaughan, 44%, less than half are being sold at list price or more. If you're looking to buy, that should be music to your ears. The good realtor that you're working with, pick a good realtor. You're able to kind of figure out which properties you can really negotiate on and which ones you're going to be competing on. 54 were listed, 242 are available for sale. And months of inventory sitting at 1.7. That's one of the higher months of inventory in all of the GTA. Days on market is 21. 3 weeks. 21 days on market. That seems like a lot. I imagine it's going to change soon though. But so there could be an opportunity if you're looking to buy in Richmond Hill. And when we look at Markham, 44 were sold last week. These are detached properties only. 8 were sold at $2 million or more. And average sold price went up just by a little bit to $1,711,000. And when we look at the trend for Markham, it looks like average sold price, although there was a few wonky weeks over here, it looks like average sold price has gradually been going up since the beginning of the year. We're 17% higher than last year's average sold price. Of the 44 that were sold, 73% sold at list price or more. So Markham, it's the opposite of Vaughan and Richmond Hill as far as the competitiveness. 73% at list price or more, very competitive in Markham. It's kind of the opposite of Vaughan and Richmond Hill right now. 59 were listed, and it's pretty consistent with what we've been listing the last few weeks. But months of inventory dropped to 1. 1 month of inventory. The days on market is sitting at 13. This is a very tight market. When we look at overall the months of inventory, York region is very tight. All the regions, all the areas, months of inventory are particularly low. 1.7 in Richmond Hill, that's one of the highest areas as far as it's one of the highest months of inventory of any area. But things are still relatively tight. very strong seller's market. You know, the next few weeks in August is going to be really interesting what happens, because that's what we're taking into the fall. And fall we kind of consider as our second spring in the real estate market. So we normally would expect the fall to be busy. Well, if we're going into the fall being tight and with 60, 70, 80% of the property selling at list price or more when we're supposed to be calm, kind of curious as to what the fall is going to be like. My name is Santo Sessa. I'm a full-time realtor. If I can help in any way, reach out to me. There's a link to my calendar in the description below. Have a great day.